Historic home. Family owned and operated by Rick Gates, former Brownsville resident and Guyville alumni, the Gates Funeral Home and Crematory offers warmth, convenience, affordability, and ample parking. With a knowledgeable funeral director and compassionate staff, the Gates family and the Gates Funeral Home and Crematory are ready to assist you.
Your local station, WMBS.
The views and opinions presented by the host, guests, or callers on this program do not necessarily represent the positions of WMBS Radio.
It's Hot Topics. What's on your mind on a Friday? Yes, this is Brian Morozak inside our Davis & Davis Attorneys at Law Studios with, as always, Kendall. And Kendall, I'm waiting for you to surprise me with somebody like Gene Steratore today.
It's going to be Paul Sunyak and it's Mary Sampi.
It's Mary Sampi, just as good. Mary with the smiling face.
The surprise is you today.
Yes.
The surprise is you. We are being brought to you by Tire Man's Auto Garage, K2 Engineering, Coldwell Banker, Laurel Ridge Realty, Chestnut Ridge Counseling, Hicks and Boss Drug Store, Red Rooster Dumpster and Hauling, and Bright Stripe Seal Coating and Line Striping. 724-438-4593. Open conversation for most of the show today, but we're going to start out with some information about the annual Main Street Classic, which is for City Mission Living Stones.
Yes.
And we were used to having Dan on.
I know.
And now it's Mary. So, Mary, welcome. And what is your new position?
Thank you. So I've been with City Mission. It'll be a year now on September 1st, which is really hard to believe, but I absolutely love what I do. I'm the Director of Community Relations and Ministry.
You always seem like you wear a lot of hats. We've seen you in here with Rick Fike before with
Yep.
Fayette TV, and you do a fantastic job with some of those interviews as well.
Thank you. I really enjoy doing it. You know, a lot of times Rick just kind of pulls me in and says, hey, how about you do this? I have an idea. And it's great because he knows that I like to do pretty much anything I love to support the area. So I really enjoy that with Community Ministries. Obviously, Kendall is one of our hosts for the telethon. So we have a great relationship with you guys, and we appreciate all your support all around. And again, today for having us on about City Mission.
Yeah, so tell us about the 5K.
Okay, so I'm really excited about this because I'm a runner and I've run this race before.
Okay, you are a runner. Oh, actually, Mary,
Yes.
for the listening audience, you can't see this, but Mary, pull up and show the viewers on the we are live streaming on our Facebook, WMBS Facebook page. Show everybody your water jug.
Oh, I have my water jug. It says, my God loves everyone because he does.
Now, are you able to drink that every day?
I am.
Like a full thing?
And ask the people at City Mission that I'm in the bathroom quite a lot in the office.
Well, Mary is the most hydrated person here at WMBS. So why are you excited about it? You're a runner.
All right, I'm a runner. I've run this race before I even worked for City Mission, before I really even knew what City Mission did. I ran this race, and I always thought it was a great cause. And it's a fast course for those of you racers who like to have a fast course. That means that you're going to have a great time. It's pretty flat.
Okay.
All right. So I didn't really know anything about
the non-runners too.
Heck, and yes, absolutely. And you walk as well. So I didn't really know anything about City Mission other than the fact that they had the homeless shelters. And I thought this is a really great cause. Now that I work for City Mission and realize all of the programming and everything that they do, in addition to just our emergency shelter programs, I was even more excited to not only be a part of this race, but directing this race this year and being on the back end and seeing all of the hard work that comes into it so that we can support City Mission Living Stones. So it is Saturday, August the 16th. So that is next Saturday. And it's $30 right now. If you do sign up online, you can sign up on Run Sign Up. I do have brochures. We have brochures on our website as well. You can download that, or you could just sign up online.
What is your website?
Our website is www.citymissionfayette.org. So you can go there, hit Main Street Classic, and sign up that way. So it is a 5K, which is 3.1 miles. It starts in Story Square. So I know that registration, if you don't get to sign up on line or ahead of time, you can come the morning of. It starts at 7 a.m.
Nice.
And you can come, and it will be a little bit more money to sign up. The day of, it's $35. So we do try to encourage that pre-registration because you get that off.
A shirt if you
Yes, I did make sure to get extra. And our colors this year are black and gold, which I'm super pumped about.
Okay.
Because I thought people are going to wear this all year round if it's black and gold.
Yeah, good idea.
Yeah, so I'm really excited about that this year. You could come sign up the morning of. You can walk, you can run. If you get a group of 10 or more, it's $25, even on the day of the race.
Nice.
Yes.
Now, Kendall, I know you did Phil's 5K. How hard was the training for that for you?
Well, I exercise all the time anyway, so but I'm a walker. I walk and talk. There's no racing for me.
That's what I love about this is it's all ages. It can be competitive, and I will tell you we have some fantastic prizes.
I'm sure.
And we are known for our prizes, and they're also always sponsored by someone. This year they're sponsored by Milwaukee Tools. We want to thank them for sponsoring our prizes. We have
They're
medals.
very generous, Milwaukee
Oh
Tools.
my gosh, they're incredible. And their sponsorship has really enabled us. Anyone who wins that first place in walk or run in each category gets one of these there's Yeti coolers,
Nice.
there's a Yeti lunchbox, there's all these snacks that you get. I mean, some of these prize baskets are probably close to $500. I mean, I'm used to getting like a bag of chips and like
Yeah.
a little medal when I'm fin apple and be like, okay, good job. So the prizes are fantastic. We have a kitty race as well. So
What time does the kitty race start?
8:30. So the kitty race kicks off. It is free to run the kitty race. They're going to get a snack bag. They're going to get a balloon. We're going to have face painting there. We're going to have an Air Force agency there to tell you a little bit about what they do. If you want some information about that, there's fruit, there's bagels, there's all these things, all these giveaways
It
that
seems
we
like
have.
a fun family event.
It absolutely is.
And you don't have to walk or run to even go. You can go and
No, just
the raffles and
support.
things like that.
Yes, we have a lot of auction items. It's $20 for our raffle items, and we're also selling a $25 ticket for a theater package.
Okay.
It's $25, and if you win, you get 2 tickets to see Wicked, you get dinner beforehand at Meat and Potatoes, and you get a stay at the Renaissance Hotel.
Nice.
Oh, fantastic.
Yeah,
The Renaissance is
really nice.
So can you
Yes.
go online and view the auction items, and you can participate without having to even go to the race at all?
So for the theater package, yes. So for
Okay.
the theater package right now, if you go on our social media, you'll see the link for that.
And
Where
that's City Mission Livingstone.
Yep.
Sorry to interrupt you.
Yes, and
I feel
then
like I've done this show 100 times.
I
know.
I know. And you can sign up for tickets that. You can also sign up online ahead of time or buy tickets the day of for that. For our other auction items, you do have to be present at the race. But new this year is you do not have to bring cash with you if you do not want to. We're also doing online.
That's always easier.
Yes, because a lot of runners don't bring a lot of cash with them, in their shorts.
Yeah, you
It's
don't want to carry anything.
August, it's hot. You're running back and forth to the car. So you can also just pay that way as well if you have your phone with you.
And this is rain or shine.
Oh, absolutely. And we are praying right now for great weather. So if everyone can just pray for that, we would appreciate it. And I did want to mention our sponsors, that would be okay. So we do have so many sponsors that we want to thank, but we want to particularly thank those sponsors who gave above and beyond for our race. Milwaukee Tools, Key Bank, Lee's Plumbing, Fields Financial, Faith Assembly, the Bruderhof community. And these are people that, and a lot of our board members as well, and they usually don't want me to say their name, but our board is absolutely incredible. The staff, the volunteers, everyone just comes together for this race. A lot of our kids from our youth program come to help for the day of the race. So it's just a feel-good day to just get out that word and to really shine a face on what homelessness is in our area. We are the only homeless shelter of our kind in Fayette County. We are serving 10,000, projected to serve 10,000 shelter nights this year. We also have our transitional housing, our permanent supportive housing project.
What do you have? Like, what's your youth?
Yes, we have an independent youth living program, and these are kids that are between the ages of 16 through 21 who are aging out of foster care, and they stay in a location known as Promise Place. We teach them life skills, help them get a job, transport them, get their license, just teach them those life skills so that they can be productive members of society and that they feel really cared for. A lot of these kids have gone through a lot of things, and we're here to treat all of our clients with all the respect and the dignity that they deserve.
Yeah, it really seems like you guys stay busy all year round.
And you guys are
Absolutely.
fun. I mean, your funding is limited.
Absolutely. We are not federally funded, and also because the state funding is frozen at this time, a lot of the money we get from the state is frozen at this time. So that's why it's super important for people to support things like our race and the other things that we do every day, because we do shelter and feed and clothe and house and love on a lot of people every single day.
And, Mary, after the race, whenever it's Bill and and we're just back to basics, we're going to have Mary back on because, I think it's important to highlight what all of these nonprofits in our county, but City Mission there's so many layers to what they do. And in so many different corners and pockets of the county, and I think it's important to highlight that. So we will have Mary back to give us an update on how the 5K went, but also to really, dig into the different programs and what City Mission does. Again, though, Mary, for the listeners,
Yes.
Saturday, August 16th.
Yes.
What time?
Saturday, August 16th. Registration starts at 7. The Kitty Race kicks off at 8:30. And the Main Street Classic Race starts at 9 o'clock a.m. at Story Square.
Sounds like a lot of fun.
You going, Brian?
I didn't know much about it.
Oh,
until
you have a
now.
whole week in advance.
I have a registration form right here.
If you want to
can
leave some
sign
here at
up.
the station, if anybody wants
I'd
to
be
sign up,
happy
we'll be happy to
to.
put up on our bulletin board as well.
And what is the
love
the Facebook page and the website to sign up?
So it's citymissionfayette.org for our website. On Facebook, we are under City Mission Livingstones, Inc. If you'd like to like and follow our page, you can
Yes.
get all of the updates. You can sign up on runsignup.org. If you just go to runsignup.org and type in City Mission, we'll pop up that way. Or you could just email me at msampy@citymissionfayette.org, and I'd be happy to send you a registration.
And I'm sure all this information is on the website for the
Yes.
race, but where are people meeting? Story Square, you said?
We're starting, it starts and ends at Story Square. You're kind of going, I brought my little course map here.
That was going to be my next question. What's the exact route?
It's kind of half and half. You're on the road and you're on a little bit of the sheepskin trail, and then
Okay.
you make one turn and you come back. So
Okay.
it is a fast course. If you want a good time, I know some of you who have been getting good times even on the Woodruff course.
So
you're going to be flying.
A 5K is a 5K. What makes it any quicker? Oh, because of the hills and stuff.
Yeah.
Yes. A lot of times if you have hills, then your time is going to be a little bit different. But if you have a flatter course, you're going to get a better time.
Since you're an employee this year, are you
Yes.
allowed to be a winner?
I am not actually running the race, which makes me really sad.
Mary, you're going to run earlier that morning.
Absolutely. I
Or
did.
later that day.
I still registered to support, but I will not be running. I will just be a bystander. But I wanted to make sure that I was
You
going
gotta
to
give
be
someone
there.
else a chance to shine, Mary.
Well, I'm not very fast, to be perfectly honest. I'm a distance runner.
Oh.
So I like running my, zone 2 slow pace, and the other people can stick with the fast paces.
we know you'll be hydrated. That's for sure.
Yes, I will be.
Mary, thanks so much for coming on, and we'll see you again soon.
All right. I appreciate you guys. Thank you.
Again, that's Mary Sampy from City Mission Livingstone joining us here on Hot Topics on What's on Your Mind on a Friday afternoon. Brian Morozak along with Kendall. Paul Suniak's going to be joining us as well later on in the 1 o'clock hour. We'll take a quick break and get more to the heart of the show right after this.
Conditioning system, call Tri-County Heating and Cooling, your local Trane dealer, servicing all makes and models. Tri-County Heating and Cooling can evaluate, clean, repair, or replace your current heating or cooling system and install and service whole home generators. Tri-County Heating and Cooling, covering Greene, Fayette, and Washington counties. Call your home comfort specialist, Terry Lent, at 724-785-7171 or visit ctricountyheatingcooling.com.
The Mariscati Insurance Agency is an independent agency serving clients in California and surrounding areas. Mariscati Insurance offers auto, home, business, and life insurance coverage. Stop by their office at 324 3rd Street, California, PA, or give them a call at 724-938-9302 for your quote.
Tireman's Auto Garage, voted best in Fayette for tires, has the cheapest prices in town on new and used tires with ACIMA and Snap leasing available. They are also top automotive specialists offering diagnostic service, alignments, oil changes, state inspections, batteries, brakes, rotors, and more. School will soon be starting. School buses will be on the road. Be safe, be smart, and save on tires at Tireman's Auto Garage, Mill Street, downtown Uniontown. Call 724-425-9606.
Oak Pizza in downtown Uniontown is your one-stop shop for the most unique pizzas in the region. From the masterminds behind the Fat Angelo's franchise, Oak Pizza is the laboratory where the Fat Angelo's food scientists test their creations and let you be the judge. With traditional favorites like pepperoni and buffalo chicken pizzas to more experimental offerings like the sesame seed-infused Mad Pie or the spicy chicken pickle pizza, Oak has you covered. Order today at oakpizzas.com or by calling 724-439-5805. Your taste buds will thank you.
439-2323.
For 24-hour emergency service, call us when you need. We're Fayette's Heating and Air Conditioning,
Your service company.
When it's sweltering outside, you'll be cool inside with central air conditioning from Bryant, the people that know cool. and it's easy to have a central air conditioning system installed in your home. Simply call on your Bryant dealer, Fayette Heating and Air Conditioning, located near the Laurel Mall on Route 119, north of Uniontown. The phone number is 439-2323. Let Fayette Heating and Air Conditioning rescue you from the sticky, humid summer weather. Remember that number for Fayette Heating and Air Conditioning, your Bryant dealer, 439-2323.
Call Fayette Heating and Air Conditioning, 439-2323, 439-2323, 439-2323.
Your mental health is your most valuable asset. With 55 years of experience serving Western Pennsylvania, Chestnut Ridge Counseling Services is ready and able to assist you with all of your mental health needs. Offering over 20 specialized treatments, open access, and just-in-time scheduling means that you receive the treatment you need in a time-conscious fashion. Chestnut Ridge Counseling now offers telehealth, mental health urgent care with immediate access to a mental health professional with no appointment necessary. Call 724-437-0729. That's 724-437-0729 for mental health urgent care at Chestnut Ridge Counseling. Outpatient care options include individual, group, and family therapies, mental health and psychiatric evaluations, and medication services. Outpatient care and services are also available for patients under the age of 18, geared towards youth-centric problems and concerns. Take control of your mental health care with Chestnut Ridge Counseling Services. Call 724-437-0729 to set up an appointment or speak immediately with a mental health professional.
Back on Hot Topics on What's on Your Mind on a Friday afternoon. Brian Morozak and Senator Davis & Davis, attorneys at law studios, with Kendall and Paul Sunyak. Of course, was formerly years and years ago. Paul, I remember you in here with Bob Fulton. You were with the Herald Standard back in the day.
Love those days, man.
Yes.
It was a really great time, and I got to commend WMBS for that. I don't know if you knew how I got on there, Brian, but I'm sure you were aware of it. They were beating us up pretty bad on the radio. You know, people would call in and make comments about the story was wrong and the Herald Standard's making this stuff up and whatever. They're attacking the Herald Standard. They're attacking me, you know. And I'm like, we can take this stuff. You're a news reporter. I mean, you thrive on that, all right? So I just called Bob up one day and I said, why don't you push back on any of this, Bob? Because these people say these outrageous things. They never get checked, right? He said, well, Paul, if you want to come on once a week, I'll give you the opportunity to come on Fridays.
Was he just a host?
Yeah.
Paul or Bob?
Bob.
Yeah, he was basically like the host. He did the show every day.
Yeah, and Bob said, do you want to come on Friday for a couple hours or however you can do it? I'll gladly give you the time that you can come on and rebut this, or if somebody calls, you can check them on it, right? Tell them, get your side of it, basically. And I said, and talked to Mike Ellis about it, and Mike came the first 2 or 3 times with me.
Yeah.
And we both did it together. And then after that, you know, I handled it myself with Bob, but I loved it because somebody would call up like on a Wednesday if there was a housing authority story or something like this. Herald Standard, but hold on right there, caller. You know, Paul will be here Friday. You call back Friday. And they never called.
Yeah, they don't want to talk to you face to face.
And they never called because the facts are the facts.
Yeah.
And people would act like these things didn't, you know, happen, or why are you doing that story? I always used to tell people, when you do a story, you're objective about actually doing the story. You have to be fair. You have to be balanced. You know, put your personal feelings aside. But when it comes to the point of, is this a story that's worth doing? That's totally subjective.
Sure.
You can ignore stuff at the meetings. And I was taught in journalism school at Penn State, which I'm eternally grateful for, is that, you know, you don't follow the agenda. The first meeting we went to, we all were young, you know, learning, and we take the class to a municipal meeting in State College. And you come back, and we all sort of, here's the outline. So, okay, the first thing they talked about was, it's Brian Morozic Day. And, you know, the commissioners
and a whole
yesterday,
proclamation for it,
yes,
right?
And we just went down the list because we didn't know, you know, and we all got bad grades. And the teacher said, you're very good writers, but you're not good reporters. Because the most important thing that happened at this meeting could be at the end at public comment.
Usually is.
You know, or it could be buried here. And so, and the best stories are never what happens at the meeting. It's what happened away from the meeting.
Mm-hmm.
And I carried that with me forward. And then, you know, those are the stories that I tried to do, is what the people needed to know, not what the power brokers or the elected officials wanted me to tell them.
Yeah, and how many times do we still see that today, basically still playing out? And you mentioned, you know, some of the folks maybe calling you on a Wednesday but not calling back on a Friday.
Sure.
I think it's kind of, you know, 20 years later when we have some of these keyboard warriors now, it's easy for them to go and
True.
post comments, and say whatever they want. But when it comes to actually having a one-on-one conversation with somebody, they won't have it.
Right, and a good point, Brian. And I'm glad that I get a chance to be on with you. Because we've had some conversations through the years about.
You want me to
these
leave?
things. No, that's fine. We got Russ Rhodes coming in. You don't know about that yet. But what happens is newspapers. We would get these calls all the time, and on a national level, you're right. Rumor and innuendo rule the day.
Yeah.
But we would get these calls like, did you know that Brian Morozic, who's running for city council or what? I'm just using your name.
Yeah, that's
right?
all right. You keep on using it.
And none of this is true. I'm just plugging Brian's name in. Or Kendall's, do you know that she did this or this, had a DUI or whatever, or it doesn't live in whatever township, doesn't live in the city of Uniontown, And they want you to take the bait.
Yeah.
And they want you to go out and write this story. It's like, well, no. Nobody's been convicted of anything,
Yeah.
and that was our standard, because if you printed something, as Mike Ellis would tell me many times, the worst thing in journalism is the rumor that everybody knows to be true.
Yeah.
And the day that you print that rumor and it's not true is the day you get sued, and newspapers, as you know, radio stations.
Yeah, correct.
Have
Always
assets.
have to watch that. Correct.
They have
yeah.
assets, so we have to be careful.
Alleged.
Yeah.
And that's gone by the wayside too, as you,
Yes,
as you
it
know,
has.
on social media.
Yes, it has.
But on social media, people can come out there and say anything and don't have to worry about being sued yet. And I think a lot of it would straighten up if they could be.
Yeah, I think for a lot of folks, too, if they have nothing behind them, if it's just you on your own personal page posting something, you have no business, you can probably say things a little bit more freely than we could say when we're basically running a business, as you said, with assets and everything else. You kind of have to worry about protecting yourself.
I feel that way sometimes on the show with myself because I do run my own business.
Correct.
As my full-time job. And so, and plus you don't want to go out making enemies
Oh, correct.
in a
Yeah,
small
there's no
town.
reason to do that.
Right? But it's so hard because you could just be speaking a truth that the listeners want to hear, and someone's going to be mad about it.
And I think for you, too, obviously the show name is Hot Topics. You want to discuss the hot topics, but you need to be careful at times, too, to make sure that the hot topic is actually something that's truthful, not just somebody told you in your shop or whatever on Wednesday that this person was doing that, and then you bring it up on the radio on Friday, and then we're all in hot water. I don't think that's ever happened.
Well, and there's a fine line, too, for me in my heart, because there's been some stories that have broke locally about, I'm not going to say any names because it was a hot topic, right?
Yeah.
But it was so cut and dry, right?
Yeah.
This person stole from this nonprofit. That person's going to eventually.
Oh, yeah, that's something that's...
But then you think, okay, we could talk about this for an hour, the first half. But I'm thinking, everybody already knows what it's to talk about, except this person's a scumbag.
Yeah.
And they have kids.
Yeah.
Right? And we're going to see these people's kids, and these kids have to endure it. So you sometimes I'll leave here and I'll think, did I need to say that?
Yeah.
Because it weighs on my heart.
Yeah, it's tough because you have to walk that fine line sometimes where I think you do have the professional obligation to address some of those things, but at the same time, you don't want to throw people's families under the bus. But if somebody does something and they're convicted, then it is what it is. You have to.
You have to write the facts of what happened, and I could tell a couple different stories, but I'll tell you off the radio about some of the words we got printed in the paper and how those went down. And you start to use these, not bad words or anything, but just describing the crime when it's a sex crime or something. You can't use that word in the paper. Well, we had to use it.
Yeah, it's hard to tell the story sometimes
without using that, and people don't like to see this in the paper. Well, that's what the guy's accused of doing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And what are we supposed to say?
Well, but then there's also a victim involved that's being written about them. But listen, sometimes I think, and I mean, Brian, I don't know about not you because you don't do the show like this usually, but sometimes I'm like, you know what? I don't want to bring this up, but I want to talk about it. I hope that someone calls in about it, right?
Yeah, correct.
But you can call in about anything you want right now, 724-438-4593.
I had a couple of hot topics for today, and I reached out to Sean Valenti, who is the coach of the Fayette Fury. It's an 11 and under Little League team that actually originated from the Clark program, which is locally here in Fayette County, R.W. Clark. So they participated in a tournament down in the Monroeville area last weekend. They won their opening game.
What age?
This is 11 and under.
Okay.
They won their opening game on Thursday. They came back and played a team from Central Valley on Friday. They were up 11-0 in the third inning. The Central Valley team basically forfeited, walked off the field, and the organization for the tournament kicked the Fayette Fury team out because they basically said they were too good.
Now, again, 724-438-4593. here's how I understood it, because I didn't know anything about this until Brian said, I'm going to mention this. And then a friend of mine, we were just talking about it this morning. How does a tournament determine where each team is placed? Like, it's not like there's a scout going out and saying like, oh, they are like, I'm making this up, but like a class A, B, or C team.
Yeah, so Sean Valenti, who's the coach of the Fayette Fury team, told me the tournament was advertised for community teams, which he considered they are because they're from the Clark League and they've all played together for 5 or 6 years.
Yeah.
Or B and C level teams. So
they were a B and C level?
C level team. So I guess
because they're not a club team, right?
Because they're not a club
Got
team,
it.
they're like a travel elite team.
Right.
But I guess because of their performance and they played well in their first game and a half, the tournament director said, you guys must basically be an elite team. And he said they basically played their best game of the year when they went up 11-0. But he said to the tournament, and I reached out to the tournament committee too yesterday to get their side of things, and they basically said the same story Sean did, that they felt that they were more of an elite team and they didn't fall under the classification of the teams that were eligible to participate in the tournament.
Who makes the decision?
I guess it was the organizer of the tournament. So I guess the Central Valley team that was down 11-0 ended up winning the tournament since the Fayette team got kicked out.
Shut up. And here's like, okay, what is the most shocking part of the story to you?
I was surprised the Central Valley team walked off the field when they were down 11-0.
What's the most shocking part of the story
The
to
most
you?
shocking part of the story to me is that Brian actually called the tournament sponsors or the organization to get their side of the story. I mean, and to me,
you think I'm lazy?
No,
I'm
but
just joking.
this is the way it should be, and
Yeah.
I commend WMBS because I'm on Facebook, following and whatever, and I see you providing news and breaking news a lot better than the paper does, where I used to work,
Thank you.
right? And it's necessary, and I commend you for doing that with a short staff, but also adhering to. Every opinion radio is easy for me. I mean, you come on, talk about the story that you did. The hard part is trying to go out and go through the records and take all the notes and come back and make the calls and write the story, right? So what I will say, though, Brian, is it's good that you're doing that and you're actually functioning as a news reporter or a news organization and doing the legwork that's required. But when you talk about my days with Bob Foltz being on the radio, this would never made unless there was some big controversy that had been in the paper, right? This type of thing would not be what we would be talking about because you had a paper that was this thick.
Yeah.
And you had coverage of everything that was going on in Fayette County. And, I covered county government, as you know, housing authority, voter fraud, the whole deal, commissioners, fights at meetings, and all this other stuff. But we had other reporters that were covering every school board and every municipality, or all the big ones anyway, right? And there always was something on there that those people were talking about, right? And so to me, that's the sad part of it, is that without that backbone and that reporting staff that would actually give you the grist for the mill, so to speak, about what to talk about.
The only positive, just to conclude this,
Yeah,
Kendall, what Sean mentioned, they did get a refund, and they were told that they can enter basically tournaments in the future at a higher level. So even
Who
though
gets to decide that, though?
I guess
and
the
what if,
running board of the Monroeville was a Monroeville
Here-
and Gateway.
Another thing is, though, okay, so in a couple of years, those boys, many of them, aren't even going to be eligible to play because of their age.
Correct, but they'll end up having like an under 14 tournament there.
I
under
understand,
16,
but
yeah.
like everybody that goes into it is running the risk of.
I think it sets bad examples for these kids moving forward. I think from the Central Valley side, you're not going to win every single game. You're down 11-0. Just they have mercy rules. If they were up 15-0 after three innings, the game would be called anyways. But at least finish it out. I mean, there's no reason to have your coach basically tell you to guys walk off the field.
Well, my question would be, as a follow-up, would be why? Do I need these over here? Why didn't this vetting take place ahead of time?
Yeah.
Correct. Yeah.
Okay.
Why? Because he said they left at like 5:30 in the morning to go down there. The game
Right,
was
but
8
but
a.m.
if your thing is like you can't put a bunch of
why was there not research on a lot of
right,
these teams
and
ahead of
if
time
they
to
let
find
you
out?
sign up, then it's
Yeah, if
almost
you're in, you're in.
It's almost like saying a team shows up and it has Michael Jordan on it in basketball and Magic Johnson are on this team. Hey, you guys are too good here. We've determined you're too good to compete with the rest of us.
I agree.
It doesn't make any sense to me.
Yeah. Let's go to the phone lines. Again, 724-438-4593 if you want to participate. Hello, you're on Hot Topics on What's on Your Mind.
I think somebody needs to put a news report.
Oh.
All right. Guess we'll click that one off real quick.
Good job, Brian.
That's a good starting call to the show. But again, 724-438-4593 if you want to participate. But you're right, Paul. A little bit, you talked about doing research. Whoever's running the tournament, if you let somebody in, why did you not do the research to find out how good this team is before you let them
Right.
And what's the threshold?
Yeah, what is? I agree.
Right.
I agree.
Who makes this determination, and when's the last time this ever happened?
Yeah.
That's the question I would be asking. They say, "Why are you asking these questions? You're making us look bad." Well, maybe you're making yourself look bad.
And to me, that's what kind of caught my eye on it, because I've been doing sports stuff for a lot of years. I never remember seeing a team kicked out of a tournament, especially a team locally right around Fayette County, to have that being done because they're too good. I mean, you see different reasons, but not because
you're too good
you're
to
too
compete with us.
You're too
I'll tell you what, that is if I were a parent of the team that walked off,
Yeah.
I would be so livid.
I agree too, because what kind of lessons are you teaching your kids? Because it basically tells them that they can go and quit. Because I deal with this with my nephew a lot too. Playing sports, he gets frustrated and wants to give up or whatever else, and just trying to keep him going and doing that. But you see organizations like this that set those levels, then you can see why kids have that attitude as they grow up.
This will be a core memory
I agree.
for that team.
I agree.
It's going to be way more of a core memory for the team that walked off than the ones who got kicked out of the tournament.
I agree.
And what adult made that call?
The coach of the Central Valley team.
Shame.
He ordered his kids off the field. There's a YouTube video.
He should never be allowed to coach again. I mean that.
Yeah.
Because the reason for this 11 and under, and look, don't come at me, people, but some of you out there, I know you think your kids are going to be professional athletes. Most of them are not. Even more than that are not. But the reason why they're in this is not to go to the NFL or the MLB or the NBA, whatever. It's to teach them how to have good character. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I agree. And at least the one good thing on the Fayette side, they can take the fact that they were a good team together.
They're fine. Yep.
Yeah, they're going to be fine
Good for
moving
them.
forward, and hopefully their success continues. And in a couple of years, when these kids are in high school, hopefully they're doing the same thing they're doing now.
That one episode of that coach who has no business coaching.
Yeah.
That was about him, not those kids.
Yeah.
He just put in these kids' minds.
It's okay to quit.
If I don't get an A on this test, I'm quitting. I'm just going to drop this class. I'm not going to. If I don't get a 4.0 my first semester of college, I'm just going to go. I'm going to quit college. That is why you put your kids in these things.
Yeah.
Shame.
And that was kind of like the third part of this whole story too, is the fact that they were basically kicked out after the Central Valley team forfeited the game. And then for Central Valley to go and end up being the winner of the tournament.
Yeah, true.
How crazy is that?
What?
How crazy is that?
That is. I wonder if any of the parents were upset about this on the Central Valley team.
Yeah, you would think there'd be parents for everybody. To me, it's a bad situation the way everything played out, because it looks bad for the organization that runs it. It's disappointing for the Fayette kids because the fact that they put all the time and effort, leaving at 5:30 in the morning to go down there and play an 8 o'clock game, and all the travel costs, even though they got their money back for the fees. You're still going down, and everybody's driving down there. And
they're excited.
To
they
go
were
and
kicking
play.
butt,
yeah,
right?
Like winning in a great, and having fun and doing that. And then obviously the third end of things is basically the Central Valley team to quit.
But this is not WPIAL or PI.
No, this is like
this is just like a private
it's
organization.
it's just an organization that kids play
So
baseball in the summertime.
So they can do what they want.
They can do what they want.
But hasn't the same thing happened in the WPIAL and PIAA, where they have this thing now? I think Aliquippa is a good example.
Yeah, the competitive balance.
This is a single A school enrollment, right?
Correct.
Or double A maybe. But
and they force them up.
And they are playing at a triple A level or whatever, I'm guessing at this. But they're playing at a much higher level than their enrollment.
Yeah, they were ruled up. They were a single A, and because of their they decided to play up themselves to play at a higher level. And then because they had success playing up, they were forced up another level above where they were playing up themselves. So they were playing 4A, got the competitive balance points, even though they're a 1A school, or told they have to play 5A.
Now they have to play 5A, which is the second highest classification, right?
Pennsylvania for
and they're a single A school. This has got like 50 boys in a class or something in the whole high school.
And I think that was their whole argument. Well, if you're going to force this up, tell us we can't play any lower than 2A.
Correct.
Don't tell us because we voluntarily played up to 4A that we have to play at 5.
So in both of these instances, isn't the message being sent is that the best do not get to win, right?
Correct.
The best, you're punishing the best at what they do.
Correct.
So if you're Central Valley, that's the school you're talking about, right? Then go back and say, guess what? Next year we have to try harder.
Yeah.
The classic Michael Jordan story,
Yeah.
right? Michael Jordan got cut from his high school basketball team.
Yeah.
And his mother said, go back and work harder. And the guy, he did. He became probably the best basketball player of my generation
Yeah.
anyway, right? But he got cut. But he came back because you learned that life isn't fair. And you learned that sometimes
work
you're not,
hard, yep.
and sometimes you're not as good as you think you might be.
So that is it Aliquippa you said?
Aliquippa high school football, yes.
Then they're single A.
You're correct. And they had to play 5A last year because the previous 2 years they played 4A, and they won WPI on state titles, and they have this whole competitive balance points they introduced, which automatically forces
If you're
teams
too
up.
good, if you win too much in your classification, they make you play up a classification.
But is this just a special?
No, that's the rule.
Case?
No, it's the rule. I mean, they
That's
ended up
not what
going
I'm
to court
asking.
for it.
But is this team just a really exceptional team, or is this a school that's recruiting like some of these like charter schools?
I would
so
say
they always have a team that good.
They're always good. I would say to some degree, I mean, I'm not going to try to accuse them or anything, but I wouldn't be surprised they bring in players from different areas.
Like one that lives in Brownsville now.
Yeah, but they are a public school though. They're not like
public school.
they're not like a Lincoln Park charter
Yeah,
program
okay.
that could bring in kids. But I mean, there's nothing that I know that saying Aliquippa's recruiting, but there have been.
They consistently have a good team.
They consistently have a good team, correct? But they are a public school, just like Uniontown is.
Mm-hmm.
So
How did they do at 5A?
they lost, I think, in the semifinal round. Of
So they still did
WPIAL.
pretty well.
They did a good season, but I think their main complaint wasn't success playing. It was they were putting their kids more at an injury risk because you have bigger kids in the 5A level, and you might have a roster of 80, or they might have a roster of 30. So you're going to get kids running down, getting more.
But here's
fatigued
what
and
I
that.
say though, and I mean I know we did not mean to go down the rabbit hole of Aliquippa, but. And I don't know. Someone 724-438-4593. It's not that local. It's not local, so maybe no one knows. But if I'm curious if they have a reputation of everyone knows that they're recruiting kids. If that's really the case, then because it's not just, oh, can you believe it? They always just have the best team. What a shocker!
Yeah.
They're the luckiest team in the world. The school in the world.
Something in the water in Aliquippa.
Right. So if they're making it to work out for them, they don't get to then.
Yeah,
You can't have it both ways.
Oh, I understand what you're
But
saying.
I find that to be like, I may diverge from you a bit there because the parochial schools do it all the time.
And I agree. I agree.
St. Joseph's Prep in Philadelphia just wins every year because they can get whoever they want.
I mean, my whole thing, and
Yeah.
I've been harping on this for years, is you need, and I think they're trying to start to go down that road, and there's been some legislation passed that the PIAA has fallen back to a 1971 rule that you could not separate the public and private schools. Well, that rule's gone away now. So there is the ability, if they want to have a private school classification, and you have 6 classifications. You could have a larger school private classification, a smaller school classification, and 4 public school classifications, which until about 7 or 8 years ago, there was only 4 classifications all the way around anyways. You can kind of go back to the old system of just public schools, but they still have not gone down that road yet.
They do have, Kendall, they do have residency requirements. You're not allowed to move to a school district
Correct.
for the purpose of playing basketball
Yeah.
or football. You have to have a legitimate reason like your family moves. And I would counter possibly that if you do like to play football and you're good at it and you live in Beaver County where
Yeah.
Aliquippa is, and you maybe have a future in it, maybe want to get a scholarship,
Yeah.
and you have the option of saying, just like Uniontown and LH, right? We're going to move across the border here so my kid can go to this school because this football program is really great, and my kid will have tougher competition. He will become a better athlete.
You
Yeah.
could say that though
And
about academics.
you could-
I
yeah,
should.
you
My,
could
my
do-
my daughter's excelling in this, and she wants to be a that. And Albert Gallatin has the tippy top of. It's known that they're. Yeah, we could go rounds and rounds.
Yeah, I mean, how many times, though, do you see that all the time? And now, even this day of age, you get parents that might be separated, and one lives in one district and one lives in
I
another
can go
district.
live with my
They go
dad
live with my
and-
dad or go
right.
with my mom. And it's a lot easier now
have
than maybe it would
options.
have been 40 years ago when you didn't have, as many parental separations and things like that, or you can live with your grandparents take care of you.
Listen, I would not fall over dead if I heard at some point in life, yeah, they got divorced because, and he got an apartment over on this street, but they only filed for divorce so that the kid could go to this. I could totally see
Well,
that.
how many times, though, do you see where parents sometimes, or if you have somebody, say you have a couple that has a child out of wedlock, okay? but they choose not to get married because they're getting government benefits for being a
All
single
the time.
mom all the time
All
versus being
of
married
the time.
together. And it's almost like the same situation.
Yep.
There's no financial benefit to them getting married because they're both going to make more money raising a child not being married.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it goes a lot of different ways.
724-438-4593. We'll take a quick break and we'll be back.
Saving money when you buy a new home isn't a fantasy. It's reality at Clayton Homes of Bell Vernon. With up to $5,000 in instant savings during the Sign and Save sales event, it's the perfect place to find the home you've always wanted. So don't let your dream home stay a fantasy. Visit Clayton Homes of Bell Vernon today at 4500 PA 51. Terms and conditions for the Sign and Save sales event at manufacturedhomeoffers.com. Available only at participating Clayton Homes family of brands retailers through August 31st. Amount of savings may be limited. Ask for details. May not be available with certain financing. Lender restrictions apply.
Red Rooster Dumpster and Hauling are the ones to call when you need a dumpster. Red Rooster offers fast, friendly service and provides medium-sized dumpsters that will fit your needs, whether it's a general remodeling project, emptying a house, or doing a summer or fall cleanout. Just call Red Rooster Dumpster and Hauling at 724-569-0337 for rates and availability. Red Rooster Dumpster and Hauling in Smithfield also offers a 5% military discount. Call 724-569-0337 and look for the Red Rooster.
Here's a business looking for a customer.
Hi there.
Here's a customer looking for a business. Hi. And that's where the Better Business Bureau comes in. The BBB connects people with businesses they can trust. That's why 2023 IABBB research found 80% of people choose BBB accredited businesses over non-accredited ones with the same A+ letter rating. Live happily, better after. Always look for the sign of a better business because it's looking out for you. And find a better business anytime at bbb.org.
Feeling lucky? Your next big jackpot is waiting for you. Visit the casino at Nemacolin in Farmington, PA for the ultimate casino experience featuring the hottest table games, daily promotions, big-time giveaways, and an exciting variety of premium slots. And after, celebrate your big win with a juicy burger at the Royale while you watch the big game. Hotel packages available. Visit CasinoNemacolin.com for more information. The Casino at Nemacolin. Game on. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Hi everyone, this is Kelly Clark with Autoland Hyundai in downtown Uniontown. 724-208-5281. What makes buying your next vehicle for me worthwhile? I make it a very easy 5-step process. You look, you shop, you ask, you decide. And I listen. Kelly Clark, Autoland Hyundai, 724-208-5281. 724-208-5281. Kelly Clark, Autoland Hyundai. I'll make you a good deal.
Having Hicksonbaugh's Drugstore in Uniontown means reliability, quality, and service. Pharmacists Stephen Harper and Seth Miller fill your prescriptions, offer free prescription delivery, mail-out service, and gladly answer your healthcare questions. Flu shots, the new Moderna COVID boosters, plus Shingrix shots with your doctor's prescription are also available at Hicksonbaugh's. Call 724-437-2828. Hicksonbaugh's Drugstore, 304 Morgantown Street. Open Monday through Friday, 9 to 6, Saturday till 3, closed Sunday.
About 3.5 minutes left in hour number 1. Hot Topics, what's on your mind on a Friday afternoon. Brian Morozak along with Kendall and Paul Sunyak here in our Davis & Davis Attorneys at Law Studio, 724-438-4593, 724-438-4593, whatever's on your mind. I know we're going to switch topics a little bit for hour 2, but again, we're open to talk anything today. If you have any questions for me, Kendall, Paul, we're an open book today.
As Bill says, little housekeeping. After the show, you can go back and listen. We are live streaming on our WMBS Facebook page. Mary Sampy was here from City Mission Living Stones, and the Main Street Classic, the 21st Main Street Classic. It is next Saturday, the 16th. It is their 5K, Story Square. Go on their website, citymissionfayette.org, or you could visit their Facebook page, City Mission Living Stones Inc. To sign up, and you can also register the day of. So that's also great. Brian, you want to talk about what's going on this Saturday?
I mentioned the Italian Festival in town this weekend as well. And Paul, I actually saw some historic photos of like downtown line where you couldn't even move in the Italian Festival years ago. And I know we're trying to get back to that point, but that had to be, I don't know if you were around.
When way more people lived here, period. Though.
More, yeah, correct. I don't know if you were there, but that had to be a really neat time.
It started, I think, in the 80s, right? I could be wrong, but it was around that time. I was a young reporter, put it that way.
My grandmother said our family used to come from out of town to go to it.
But when they first started that, I mean, the whole street downtown was like it was. You see the pictures from the 40s when they said the 3 movie theaters and the streetcars and all these people. That's what it was like from the whole, the whole downtown area.
Yeah, they actually showed some classic photos, and you could hardly move.
Yeah, I was there.
Yeah.
And then also the Steam
Horse and Gas show in Malden with Josh, 12 to 2 on Saturday. And then Josh and Matt will be in Uniontown for the Italian Festival from 4 to 6. But the Italian Festival going on all weekend, both Saturday and Sunday. Again, they moved up the street a little bit closer to the Fayette County Courthouse this year, not down by Story Square. So,
but moving up the street means moving farther away from parking. So you can park in the Church Street garage, which is where the Fact Bus station is, and or stop, whatever. And they're shuttling people over to the event. So I guess the parking garage, anybody can use the parking garage, right? But there is a party that on Saturday for a different business, and so I think that they're going to be using that. But yeah, if you're handicapped, even if you're elderly or you don't walk that well, you can be shuttled over to the event if you park in the Church Street garage and then just walk out.
And they also
that's good for me to know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they also have parking in the Uniontown Library a lot while you can get it. But that's going to.
Yeah, I mean, they said that like it's like a real amenity, you know.
Again, we coming up on hour number 2. CBS News on the way next, followed by the local district and statewide news, hot topics on what's on your mind on a Friday afternoon. Brian Morozak along with Kendall and Paul Sunyak from the Herald, formerly of the Herald Standard. Paul, you haven't been there in probably 10, 15 years.
I'll always be affiliated.
Yes. We had Mary Sampe on with us earlier. Stay tuned. CBS News on the way next here on WMBS Uniontown, coming up on 2 o'clock.
This is CBS News on the Hour, sponsored by O'Reilly Auto Parts.
I'm Cammie McCormick. President Trump has reportedly signed a directive to the Pentagon to begin using military force against some Latin American drug cartels. The New York Times reports that would be an official basis for direct military operations at sea or on foreign soil. CBS's Nicole Skanga.
Use of military forces to carry out what has primarily been a law enforcement responsibility to curb narco trafficking also raises a number of legal and even logistical questions. For her part, the Mexican President Claudia Sheinbaum today said that members of the U.S. military would not be entering Mexico. In a statement, a White House spokesperson said only that President Trump's top priority is protecting the homeland.
An appeals court today tossed out a judge's contempt finding against the administration and the deportations of immigrants to an El Salvador prison. Today was the deadline for Russian President Putin over the war in Ukraine. It isn't clear if a meeting between Putin and President Trump is being organized. CBS's Olivia Gazis is following.
Right now, there's a lot of meetings about whether this meeting should actually take place, because today was the deadline that President Trump set for himself in issuing a new swath of sanctions on Russia, or secondary sanctions on its purchasers of oil, should it not enter into a ceasefire with Ukraine.
There has been international condemnation of Israeli plans to take over Gaza City. Reporter Robert Berger is monitoring the reaction from Jerusalem.
Maybe the most significant thing is what we heard from Germany. Now, that's a country that's Israel's strongest supporter in Europe, and they're committed to Israel's security because of history, the Holocaust. And they came out and said, we're not selling any more arms to Israel that could be used in Gaza.
The Justice Department has subpoenaed New York's Attorney General over whether she violated Trump's civil rights in her handling of a civil fraud investigation. Letitia James says any weaponization of the justice system should disturb every American. Legal analyst Laurie Levinson Johnson.
One of the dangers of calling for Department of Justice investigation of James is the chilling effect it may have on her and others in bringing cases that they believe are righteous. And in fact, we have to remember, in the case against Trump, he had a judgment against him.
An advocacy group is suing the Justice Department and FBI for records on their handling of the Jeffrey Epstein investigation. Democracy Forward wants senior administration officials' communication about Epstein documents and any correspondence between Epstein and President Trump. On Wall Street this hour, stocks are higher. The Dow is up 251. This is CBS News.
Think O'Reilly Auto Parts for all your car care needs. Get the parts and service you need fast from the professional parts people at O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Point Hill Living Care Home is an all-new personal care home conveniently located in Point Marion and is now accepting new residents. Point Hill Living is committed to providing comfort and support while allowing residents to maintain their independence and enhance their quality of life. With a dedicated staff and experienced advanced care team, Point Hill Living offers fully customized care plans for all residents, while also ensuring a sense of community and engagement, making Point Hill feel like home. Multiple care levels are available, from basic plans to fully customized and enhanced plans, including options for medical monitoring and full-time dedicated assistance. If you are looking for a high-quality care home close to home, look no further than Point Hill Living Care Home at 300 Union Street in Point Marion. Call them today at 724-725-5533 to learn more, or visit them at pointhillliving.com. Point Hill Living Care Home, where our residents are family.
The FAA is going on a hiring spree to address a national staffing crisis. Deborah Rodriguez has the story.
The FAA says it expects to sign up almost 9,000 air traffic controllers over the next few years. It'll help address a shortfall of nearly 3,000, but it may not be enough. The workforce plan estimates that because of projected losses from the current pool and washouts among recruits, the FAA expects to have just 1,000 additional certified controllers by the end of fiscal 2028. The agency's been scrambling to improve air safety after the mid-air collision near Reagan International in January that killed 67 people. Deborah Rodriguez, CBS News.
The Boar's Head deli meat plant at the heart of a deadly food poisoning outbreak is set to reopen in the coming months. Federal health officials have lifted a forced suspension at the Virginia plant. The outbreak that began last year killed 10 people and sickened dozens more. I'm Cammie McCormick, CBS News.
The award-winning local district and statewide news is being brought to you by NovaCare Rehabilitation, a leading provider of preventative and rehabilitative services to promote physical wellness for patients of all ages and abilities. In your neighborhood with new state-of-the-art facilities on 104 Delaware Avenue in Uniontown. Call 724-437-0556 for NovaCare. And now to the news.
Partly sunny. We're at 79 degrees at 2:05 p.m. inside our Davis & Davis Attorneys at Law studios. This is Brian Morozak with your local district and statewide news. I'll have sports and weather for you in just a moment. West Greene School District has a new superintendent. Eric Gatos spent more than a decade at Laurel Highlands High School before he moved to the West Greene School District in 2019 to become the academic director. Now he's working on his version 2.0. He started work as the district superintendent in July. He was named in June to replace retiring Superintendent Brian Jackson. He's looking to continue to build a more career-ready culture within the district. A few notes on some area meetings upcoming. Uniontown City Council moved their meeting, originally scheduled for last night. It'll be made up on Wednesday, August 13th at 5 p.m. The Fayette County Commissioners will meet on Thursday, August 21st at 10 a.m. There will be no agenda meeting, though, on August the 19th. And after no meeting in July, the Laurel Highlands School Board will meet again on Wednesday, August 20th at 6 p.m. All three meetings will air with live video on the WMBS Facebook page. To better prepare for severe weather events, agencies across the state have joined to enhance the Pennsylvania Integrated Flood Warning and Observation System, known as iFlows 2. The iFlows 2 system provides accurate real-time information and alerting tools to emergency managers, meteorologists, and the public through the Keystone Network as part of a $720,000 grant from the Federal Emergency Management Agency. Bail is being denied for a New Mexico man who was arrested this week on the Pennsylvania Turnpike. 21-year-old Jose Jimenez was pulled over for a traffic stop on Tuesday in Hempfield Township, with state police saying they later discovered over 17 pounds of cocaine in the man's vehicle. Jimenez is being held on drug charges in the Westmoreland County Prison. There were more unemployment claims across the country last week, including in Pennsylvania. The U.S. Department of Labor says initial unemployment claims in the Keystone State went up by 375. It's the second time claims have increased in the Commonwealth in the past 7 weeks. The department also reported an additional 38,000 continuous unemployment claims nationwide, bringing the total to its highest number since 2021. And the Cleveland Clinic is reminding Americans that the West Nile virus and their cases typically rise during this time of the year. Mark Mayfield will fill us in with more details on that.
The virus that is transmitted through mosquitoes is most active through September, with multiple cases being reported now. Doctors at the Cleveland Clinic recommend that folks try to avoid being outdoors at sunrise and at sunset, the time that mosquitoes are most active, and apply an EPA-approved mosquito repellent. West Nile symptoms include fever, muscle aches, and sometimes nausea, but doctors say most people that get the virus are not going to have any symptoms at all. I'm Mark Mayfield.
WNBS News Time 2:08. Sports and weather are next.
Did you know that you have a choice for your physical therapy provider? NovaCare Rehabilitation offers same-day appointments, and oftentimes you don't need a prescription from your doctor to see us. We will make sure that you are treated as an individual and will work directly one-on-one with you to help achieve your goals. You have tried the rest, now try the best. NovaCare, Delaware Avenue in Uniontown. Phone 724-437-0556 to schedule your appointment today.
The Steelers' first preseason game is coming up tomorrow night. They'll travel to Jacksonville to take on the Jaguars. Our pregame coverage here on WNBS starts at 6 with the opening kickoff set for 7. Pirates back in action tonight. They knocked off the Cincinnati Reds last night 7-0. They'll host the Reds game 2 of the 4-game series, 6:15 pregame, 6:40 first pitch here on WNBS. Now let's take a look at the WNBS weather forecast for all of southwestern Pennsylvania for the rest of the afternoon. Partly cloudy, high of 85. Mainly clear tonight, low of 62. Mostly sunny and warm tomorrow, high of 86. Sunny again on Sunday, high of 88. We won't have any rain, in fact, until Tuesday night. Monday, they're calling for a high of 92. Tuesday, the highs predicted at 90, but it'll be very humid with heat index values near 100. Much more comfortable conditions in downtown Uniontown on this Friday afternoon, where it's 79 degrees. Coming up on 2:10 p.m. Stay tuned for hour number 2 of Hot Topics on What's on Your Mind here on WNBS.
The award-winning local district and statewide news has been brought to you by NovaCare Rehabilitation, now offering telehealth and home-based care as well. Located on 104 Delaware Avenue in Uniontown, call 724-437-0556 for NovaCare.
Bright Stripe, Bay County's premier asphalt seal coating professionals, locally owned by Matt and Lexi George. Bright Stripe specializes in residential and commercial asphalt seal coating, also excelling in line striping and layouts, thermoplastic, and infrared asphalt repair. Bright Stripe has succeeded due to their commitment to quality work for 30 years. Bright Stripe, 724-437-6090, or visit bright-stripe.com. BRITE-stripe.com.
Hey all, it's Josh Krysak here again with Ron Romeo from Ultimate Structures. Ron, you're the expert. What advice would you offer someone looking to invest in a new shed or metal building?
First, the customer must validate if they meet local codes, no matter what type of structure they are thinking about. Both of the manufacturers that I represent want to be sure the structure is permitted to be built or placed on a specific property.
Makes sense. When you're ready to take your storage building game to the next level, call Ultimate Structures at 724-415-0020. Ultimate Structures, just outside of Perryopolis. They design what you desire. Visit them today at their mega lot on Route 51 southbound in Perryopolis. That's Ultimate Structures, 724-415-0020.
Zen's Antiques and Home Decor, a part of the Cinder Shack family of vendors where you can find both antique and new furniture, collectibles, housewares, gift items, including jewelry and candles, and so much more. Follow Zen's Antiques and Home Decor on Facebook for new items and information on upcoming events. Zen's Antiques and Home Decor in Building 2 at 3391 National Pike in Farmington. Zen's Antiques and Home Decor.
Are you considering a project design and don't know where to start? K2 Engineering offers a wide range of professional civil, architectural, and municipal services to meet your individual project needs. Our versatility combined with our personalized approach is what sets us apart as a full-service engineering and consultation firm. To learn more about our services, please visit us on the web at www.k2engineering.net. K2 Engineering, where customer service is our priority. Are you interested in earning your degree online or finishing your degree? Take your career to the next level at Salem University. Salem University offers more than 50 online degrees and certificate programs. Learn how you can advance your career with degrees in nursing, business, education, criminal justice, and IT. Salem has 4-week classes starting once a month. Contact Salem University by dialing 844-462-9128, option 1, or visit salemu.edu to see if you are eligible for our partnerships offering tuition scholarships.
Bad hair day? Bad day at the office? Bad day behind the wheel? Hey, stuff happens, even to the best of us. At least your car insurance rate doesn't have to take a hit. Get Erie Rate Lock from Erie Insurance. Gives you a great rate that stays put until you change a car, driver, or your address. Plus, seriously good service. Now that's something to smile about.
Your Erie agent in Uniontown and Ross Traver Township is Sprowls Insurance Group, 724-437-9812, or go to sprowlsinsurance.com.
Erie Rate Lock does not guarantee continued insurance coverage and is not available in all states.
Your local station, WMBS.
The views and opinions presented by the host, guests, or callers on this program do not necessarily represent the positions of WMBS Radio.
Hour number 2, Hot Topics on What's on Your Mind on a Friday afternoon. Brian Morozak along with Kendall and Paul Sunyak. And we're taking your phone calls until 3 o'clock, 724-438-4593. That's 724-438-4593. Anything that is on your mind, we will talk with you about.
We are being brought to you by Tire Man's Auto Garage, K2 Engineering, Caldwell Banker Laurel Ridge Realty, Chestnut Ridge Counseling, Hickson Buzz Drug Store, Red Rooster Dumpster and Hauling, and Bright Stripe Seal Coating and Line Striping.
And Kendall, I want to talk a little bit about greed in hour number 2.
Okay.
So how much money is too much money for? I've been dealing with a couple different situations here in the last couple of weeks with people, and I wonder, in their situations, how much money is just too much money? Even see this with the Steelers. That 2 stories I had on the air today. You have one, Cameron Hayward wants to get a new contract. He signed a contract before the start of last year on $15 million a year. Has 2 years left on his contract, but he wants more money. Kicker Chris Boswell, also under contract, wants more money. So what's the end point for you as far as how much money for you is enough money and you're out, you're done, you're good, you don't have to worry about anything? And why are so many people, no matter what field it is, so greedy anymore?
Well, we touched on this off the air. When it comes to the Steelers and the Cam, what is his name?
Hayward.
Hayward?
Hayward, yes.
Cam Hayward. He signed it.
I agree.
He
if you
signed
sign
it.
the contract, then you're under contract.
Yeah.
You should be able to renegotiate
That's
and
it.
do all this stuff.
That's it.
You
How
agreed
much more
to.
does he want?
I think he said right now among players in his position, he's 30th or something in the leagues. He probably wants at least 20, 25 million a year.
Oh well,
He might want 30 or 35. I mean, who knows?
He should fire his
Agent. Yep.
Yeah, he should have negotiated.
And as
better.
Paul was saying, he was coming off a bad year the year before. Then he played better last year, so now he wants more money. But he still signed the contract.
But that
shouldn't matter.
That's the culture.
Yeah, I agree.
Look at the what is the money?
NIL for the college stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. And all these kids now getting paid through college. And what's funny on that level, since you brought it up, how many times over the years did you get programs or players ruled ineligible or programs put on probation for paying athletes? And now everybody's doing it. Same thing with gambling. I mean, for years, the NFL wouldn't allow you to even talk about gambling. And now they're endorsing it behind it, and it's everywhere. I mean, it's amazing how much that stuff's all taken
So
up.
back in the day, before they could get that NIH money,
NIL
money, sorry.
We know you're a big sports fan.
Yeah. How would they, under the table, pay some of these players?
Well, you would have booster organizations. That kind of what brought down SMU back in the 1980s. Like if a player like Eric Dickerson agreed to sign at SMU, they would have booster clubs raise organizations and drop off $40,000 at the parents' door.
They give you a new car.
They'll give his dad a brand new car,
Right.
which then he's driving and those kind of things. And it was all just,
Where
under
would the booster money come from?
People would donate it to the booster clubs.
I understand, but it's not like they're collecting $5 here and sending it at the grocery store.
You would have
big business.
You would have people, and in Texas, everything is bigger in Texas. They say, but they have a lot of money at Texas A&M and SMU's in Texas, right?
Yeah.
So you have these wealthy oil. Let's just say Brian and I are wealthy oil magnates, right? We went to Penn State Fayette campus or something. So we can give $5 million to Penn State just like that.
Yeah.
And we take pride in the fact that we can brag that our team is number one.
Yeah.
So it's just like, we got to have some better players around here. So we go out and give them $5 million. And next thing you know, they're bringing in players from all over the country that never would have thought about coming here, but they offered them inducements, which were illegal at the time.
And I know you're not a big sports fan, but if you ever get a chance to watch the 30 for 30, which is like an ESPN-produced film called The Pony Express, about SMU back in the 1980s. It's pretty fascinating.
How did it get uncovered?
They got busted and put on probation for like years, and basically they gave the program the death penalty, and they weren't allowed to field a team, and basically all the players had to transfer out of the program. They had to totally rebuild their program. They were the first ever NCAA program given the death penalty.
Was that like a Paul Sunyak that uncovered this story?
Yeah, I think there were reporters that were able to uncover the fact that illegal donations were being made, and you had a couple players
come forward and say, when I was there,
when I was there, we were doing that, and you had some players that agreed to go there.
Or maybe ones that didn't get paid.
No, I think what happened, you had a couple players that got injured, and they weren't getting the playing time that they wanted, so they went public with it, and those kind of things. So they would call somebody like Paul in Texas, writing for like the Dallas Star or the Daily
right.
or
It
breaks
that way, and
then they do investigate it, and then it all blows up.
Was it a big, huge, was it like a scandal that even
if you were alive and paying attention to the 1980s,
you'd have been talking about it on the radio.
Yeah.
Because they just killed the program. They just basically dismantled it, and then you don't have the ability to recruit, maintain momentum.
Correct.
For how long?
It took them years to get back from
I think it was like a year or two they weren't able to field a team at all.
Right.
And then they had to totally rebuild the program from square one.
Did everyone get fired?
Yeah, they basically cleaned house, I think, with everything.
And then the problem becomes who wants to go there to play with that reputation. There's damage to your reputation. So to try to convince good players to come. I mean, I think they're recently in the ACC now, right?
Yeah, correct. They moved to the ACC. So.
Had the term the death penalty been created for that situation, or was that?
I think it was created for SMU because they were the first ever program to be given that.
Okay, so it wasn't.
It's never been done before, and hasn't been done since to a college program.
But before the day that it all was uncovered, there was never a term called the death penalty that no one just had received.
Correct.
It was created.
Not to my knowledge, but
Okay.
I think this happened like mid-1980s, so I was probably like 8 years old at the time too.
Right.
So it wasn't like.
I think they had been a national championship team.
Yeah, they
too,
were.
right?
They had like Craig James, Eric Dickerson.
Dickerson.
There was a couple other like good running backs they had. I mean, they had built up a pretty good program, and then basically until the last couple of years, I mean, they were in obscurity for like 30 years, just trying to rebuild of what happened from just that situation. And what's funny, what they did is like every program in the country's doing now.
Right.
Yeah.
I remember.
It's like you can't beat them, join them.
But I think that there's extremes to this, and I think now it's gone to the other extreme where players are now saying, every year you have to put your roster together about how much money you can give someone. So a college player has a good year at Boise State, let's say.
Yeah.
Maybe wasn't highly recruited. Now he's saying, I want paid, and now I'll go to Ohio State or I'll go to West Virginia.
Because Boise might not have the funds there.
So now I want my money this year. But back when there was this strict prohibition, Brian, against giving players anything, I remember reading Barry Switzer was the coach at Oklahoma. And then he was a coach at the Dallas Cowboys, I believe, right? But he talked about his time at Oklahoma because some of these things came up, and I think they may have been sanctioned, a slap on the wrist type thing. They may have. Don't hold me to that because it's been a long time.
I think Oklahoma was put on probation. Yeah. They could be on TV for
Barry
a year
Switzer
or
said this, and I had some sympathy for having a little bit of loose interpretation of this, right? He said, it's a shame that I can go to California and recruit a player who doesn't have any money, comes from a poor family, and bring him to Oklahoma to play football. And he's here, and he's making millions of dollars for the university and paying for the athletic department coaches and whatever, but he gets nothing except tuition and room and board. That's all you could get.
But to hear that is like, except tuition, like.
But here's what he said. Let me finish. He says, and this kid's parent dies, and he needs to get home for the funeral. and I can't go to a booster to the athletic department and say he doesn't have any money.
Mhm.
Can we at least buy him a
Mhm.
plane ticket home?
Mhm.
And I think there was a case
You
like
know,
that.
and I had said, well, that makes sense to me.
Yeah. Mhm.
For something like that.
Sure.
If the kid can't get home,
Yeah.
even a bus ticket.
Yeah.
If you
Yeah.
if you want him a bus ticket, you got in trouble.
Yeah.
Because that's considered outside the bounds
Benefits,
of
yeah.
a benefit for playing college sports. And I think that he was right about
Yes.
about that part of it.
Actually, I have a couple calls on the line, so we'll hit the phones up. Hi, you're on with Kendall, Brian, and Paul. Hello.
Going off subject here, this is a pawpaw lady.
Hi.
I heard on the news this morning that those who receive SNAP benefits / food stamps in some states are not going to be allowed to spend that money on cookies and sodas and chips and pre-made sandwiches and all of that kind of stuff.
I
think that is extremely good. These people on those benefits should be buying more reasonable stuff, more price-conscious stuff. They need to learn to cook, and they should be required to go to some kind of cooking classes.
Yeah, probably more life essentials. 'Cause I think you have seen over the years people using that to buy maybe cookies and cakes and things like that probably wouldn't be considered essential products.
Right. What do you think, Paul?
I think this debate has gone on for years and years, and you can try to tamp it down, but how successful will it be? I mean, it goes back to the old thing. People were selling food stamps and and whatever. This debate's been around forever.
And I think if they do put it in place, they'll just put restrictions on the stores that
Right.
that amount of money cannot be redeemed for this product. You can't buy cigarettes with it or something.
It's a yin and a yang, as you know.
Yeah.
There are times that they tighten the regulations, and then the political dynamic changes, and then they loosen the regulations. So this is not a new kind of restriction. I've heard, how many times have we heard this discussed before?
Yeah, I agree. Anything else, Pawpaw Lady?
Yes, I was just going to say, back in the very early 70s, I was living in a quite poor family, and my stepmother had to go to classes 2 hours each month before we were allowed to go into the building and receive the foodstuffs that they gave you. You know, the powdered milk and powdered eggs and cheese and stuff like that. And I think they need to get back to that, because that was also helping the farmers.
It's helping them. Oh, yeah, true.
By the government purchasing their products and giving it to the needy people. And that, to me, that was better than food stamps, because you're getting stuff that is useful, and you need to learn how to use it. And I am a professional of turning powdered milk or powdered eggs into what they are supposed to resemble. And when I was in the military, I would get mad at people who didn't know how to prepare those, and I would actually show them how.
Okay. Yeah, no, I'm with you on that. I think there should be some kind of. I like the idea of the classes cooking, because it is getting people on their feet, and if you're providing them with food to survive, take it a step further. And if you're gonna, I'm with you. Pawpaw Lady, you have a good weekend.
All righty, you too. Bye bye.
Thanks again.
Bye-bye.
We have one more call on the line. Hi, you're on What's on Your Mind?
Hi, how is everybody doing?
Good, how are you? Who do we have?
This is James.
Hey, James.
How is everybody?
Hi, James.
Hey, this week was one of the days, I think this week, they recognized people who had received the Purple Heart during service. Did you hear about that this week? I think you guys announced it on the radio, one of your news stories.
No.
That
Maybe I didn't.
It was just how they recognized people that have passed and even still alive that have received the Purple Heart through time. Now, that being said, my question for all three of you, and you'll see where I'm going with this. If somebody walked up to you, if a veteran walked up to you and handed you their Purple Heart, what would you do? What would you do with it? Would you accept it?
No, I'd try to give it back to them and tell them to keep it, because I didn't do anything to earn it.
Exactly. I mean, we have our president that basically now has Purple Hearts. And I'm with you. That is something, growing up as a kid, I always looked at.
Is it because they gave him the Purple Heart?
They offered him their Purple Heart, and he took it.
It's
He-
their
he
Purple
took
Heart
it.
to give away, though.
But I just think I think anybody could have said no. That's yours. Just like Brian said,
also-
you earned that.
I mean, also, and look, if this is the hill you choose to die on this week, that's on you. I've died on some pretty ridiculous hills this week myself, as I do every week. But
You're
No,
asking
I'm not
me-
dying on it. I'm just asking a question.
You're asking me personally, I wouldn't have accepted it, but I'm not.
But someone could also look
think-
at it as very rude not to accept
But
something
I
that's
think
being
I
offered
think
to them.
context is important. I mean, when I first heard this hypothetical, I thought, in my mind, it's like maybe this is a homeless veteran or someone. Just here's my Purple Heart. There's context is important.
Yeah.
I mean, if you watch some of the movies that I've seen as a kid, the Vietnam movies, where guys actually throw the Purple Heart in the river. You know what I mean? Born on the 4th of July, that type of thing. If they want to get rid of it for whatever reason, that's up to them. But also, someone may say, I want to honor you by giving you my Purple Heart because I respect you and what you're doing. And in that case, it might be considered rude to say no.
Can you imagine though? And seriously, James, I mean, you have to think of it on the flip side. If he said no,
He'd probably get backlash.
oh my gosh, they would have been like, he's so rude. He doesn't respect their Purple
But
Heart.
what was the context of people wanting to give him the Purple Heart? Their Purple Heart, was it to just...
What was the background, James? I'm not familiar with it.
Yeah.
Are you going to give us some of that?
The background was just simply that they felt that they respected him so much that they wanted to give him their Purple Heart that they earned.
Yeah.
And in one story, there was even a family member that said, no, that's crazy. But, this is what this person wanted to do. I just think that that's like the Bronze Star. That is something that somebody has accomplished.
Exactly,
you don't give that away.
Then
then
take that up with them. I mean,
that's that person's decision.
yeah,
though.
it's theirs. What about if someone gives an heirloom that belonged to their grandmother there's so many different scenarios. And on the flip side, if he wouldn't have accepted, people would have torn him apart.
Well, this brings me to something else that I heard this week, and there's all kinds of things that are going on. But with somebody who was in the newspaper, and maybe you could see where I'm going with this one, that the January 6th riot, which it was a riot, and I do believe that those people should have gotten in trouble. I mean, I wouldn't have been able to do that. I would have been arrested. But people investigated that. I don't know what agency investigated that, and now this week there was a story that they wanted to know who investigated that because whoever investigated it would be losing their jobs. And to me, it just seems like this is a revenge tour 24. I mean, it just seems like anybody that has done anything that this administration doesn't like is their heads on a chopping block. And I'm coming from the view as an independent. I don't trust any of them. Shake them in a bag. There's not a good one. But I'm just standing back looking at this thinking, this is crazy, simply because you investigated it. And I think they went to the head of the agency and he said he's not divulging any names, so they fired him.
What agency?
I mean, I can't remember the agency. You could probably look it up and see. I don't know if it was it was something that was investigating the January 6th riots. And because he wouldn't divulge the people under him that were doing the investigations, he was fired.
Can you divulge the source of this story? Who did it? Because that's important. That's important to me. Who did this story where this was all alleged or this was all mentioned? Where are you getting this?
This was on the news. This was on the news.
On what news, though?
This was. Well, I'm saying it wasn't even on your WMBS news.
Okay.
Your
CBS.
Okay,
it's coming from
Yeah.
CBS. Okay.
Yeah. So this happened. This isn't something I'm making. I'm listening to your news.
Yeah, no. Yeah. So he got fired, or he's...
I don't know if he got fired or if because he wouldn't tell his people who did it that he resigned. Either one. He was either pressured into resigning
Isn't that his job to report on what he's discovered in an investigation?
Well, I think they were trying to get rid of him anyway because he simply was one of the ones. His agency was investigating this. I mean, to me, 16 and 20 are different than 24. This is, and that's what my fear was when this administration got in there, that it wouldn't be concentrating on things. It would be concentrating and going after people. And you see exactly what they're doing. It's the same. It's like if Paul reported a story in the newspaper and it didn't go my way, I'm going to go out and go after Paul. Mm-hmm. I mean, he just reported the story. I mean, this is what we're seeing.
Well, this is in the New York Sun that I'm seeing right here. This one story. Top FBI official with ties to January 6 prosecutions and jailing of elderly Trump aide fired from bureau in sudden shakeup. Peter Navarro, who arrested Peter Navarro in 2022. and then I got to pay to read the rest of the story.
Right.
Get out your
right.
credit
But that was the story that they were on him about telling the people that worked for him and worked under him, the names. Who were the names that investigated this? And he did not do that. So either they pressured him into resigning, or they said, "Hey, if you don't resign, we're going to fire you."
According to this story, he was fired.
Okay, then he was even fired. I didn't know that he was. I thought maybe he resigned but he was fired.
His name was Brian Driscoll.
Yeah, I think that was it.
If I can
And
interject
this is kind of like the same story that we heard where the jobs report came out. The job report wasn't liked, so the person that reported the jobs report was fired. It's like The Apprentice.
Okay, so my perspective on this is this, though. If this would be an investigative, let's just say it's the FBI, and I didn't read the story, so I don't know, okay? But if you want to say, well, Brian is the head of the FBI, and we want to know, Brian, who did you have investigating WMBS? I don't have to tell you. I would think there's a pretty significant paper trail there that the federal government or the president could go in and say, we want to know what everybody was doing, and agents just don't go out into the field and not file reports with their name on them as to the work that they did. So I would think that the administration would be able to get that list of people pretty easily if they wanted it. You follow what I'm saying?
I follow what you're saying. I don't know why they did it then. If they were able to get it easily, then why did they do what they did?
Right. That makes sense to me, what you're saying, yeah.
It just doesn't make sense. One last thing, Brian, you brought up SMU. That was an awesome team. I was a big fan, actually. But help me out. The coach at that time bolted because he knew he was going to be in trouble, and he ended up with the Patriots.
Yeah,
Ron Meyer. Ron Meyer,
yeah.
That's right. Okay. And I think you were talking about the Oklahoma thing with Barry Switzer. I think there was a lot of investigation when he went after Marcus Dupree, because if you remember, he signed with Missouri, and eventually Marcus ended up with Oklahoma, and there was a lot of stuff that happened, I think, to get him. And I think people looked into that. So, but, okay. Hey, guys, have a good afternoon.
Good call, James. Take good care.
Good call.
And I'm pretty sure, Paul, that Oklahoma was put on probation at some point back in the late 80s,
I think they were. They didn't get the so-called death penalty.
Yeah, they didn't get the death penalty, but they had some restrictions. Well, coming up now on 2:34, we'll take a quick break. Be back with more of your phone calls, 724-438-4593 at 724-438-4593.
Ron Meyer, I'm full of all kind of youth.
Find your place in the sun for fun this summer with First Federal of Greene County. Dreaming of a backyard refresh? Leverage your existing home equity or ask about a home improvement or home construction loan. We'll help you dive into any new project, a swimming pool, patio, outdoor kitchen, even a new driveway or garage. Whatever floats your boat. Visit with a First Federal loan officer today or apply online at ffgc.bank. First Federal Savings and Loan Association of Greene County, member FDIC, equal housing lender, NMLS number 458729.
Hey, you're still good to visit the Uniontown Italian Heritage Festival this weekend, right? You are? Great! But if you're still deciding which day to go, may we suggest Saturday? Let's say sometime between 4 and 6. Reason being is because that's when Josh Krysak and myself, Matt Sapienza, will be doing a live broadcast. Well, regardless of what day you decide to attend, we hope you'll make your trip to the festival this year a priority at our new location, this year in front of the Fayette County Courthouse on Main Street. It's all brought to you by the Uniontown Sons and Daughters of Italy and their grand sponsors, C. Arperato Group and First Federal Savings and Loan Association of Greene County, as well as dozens of other valued sponsors. There'll be food and drinks, free entertainment, and family activities too. So bring your friends and family. And after all, there is no need to be Italian to have a great time. It's the Italian Heritage Festival on Main Street in downtown Uniontown this weekend, August 9th and 10th. Remember to bring your appetite. We'll see you there. Red Rooster Dumpster and Hauling are the ones to call when you need a dumpster. Red Rooster offers fast, friendly service and provides medium-sized dumpsters that will fit your needs, whether it's a general remodeling project, emptying a house, or doing a summer or fall cleanout. Just call Red Rooster Dumpster and Hauling at 724-569-0337 for rates and availability. Red Rooster Dumpster and Hauling in Smithfield also offers a 5% military discount. Call 724-569-0337 and look for the Red Rooster.
Yeah, they're the people I trust. It's the place I go home where
This is home improvement season. Home Warehouse in Uniontown is your one-stop shop for all your exterior building needs. It's the place that makes a house a happy home. Looking to add a deck? Home Warehouse carries composite decking materials and maintenance-free railing in a variety of styles. Plus, roofing shingles, metal and commercial rubber roofing, windows and doors, shutters, siding, soffit and fascia, railing, columns, 5 and 6-inch seamless gutters, plus flooring and more. Whatever building products you need, you'll be pleased with the selection and hometown service. So stop in and see Sandy and Donnie at Home Warehouse, Connellsville Street in Uniontown. Shop Monday through Friday 8 to 4:30, Saturday 8 to noon, closed Sunday and holidays.
Home Warehouse, where a house becomes a home.
Here's a business looking for a customer.
Hi there.
Here's a customer looking for a business. Hi. And that's where the Better Business Bureau comes in. The BBB connects people with businesses they can trust. That's why 2023 IABBB research found 80% of people choose BBB accredited businesses over non-accredited ones with the same A+ letter rating. Live happily, better after. Always look for the sign of a better business because it's looking out for you. And find a better business anytime at bbb.org.
Hickson Boss Drugstore in Uniontown means reliability, quality, and service. Pharmacists Stephen Harper and Seth Miller fill your prescriptions, offer free prescription delivery, mail-out service, and gladly answer your healthcare questions. Flu shots, the new Moderna COVID boosters, plus Shingrix shots with your doctor's prescription are also available at Hickson Boss. Call 724-437-2828. Hickson Boss Drugstore, 304 Morgantown Street. Open Monday through Friday, 9 to 6, Saturday till 3, closed Sunday.
Coming down the home stretch on a Friday afternoon. What's on your mind? Hot topics here on WMBS. Brian with Kendall and Paul Sunyak on this Friday. About 22 minutes left in our program. Give us a call, 724-438-4593. Anything that's on your mind, 724-438-4593. We've certainly had some interesting subjects so far this afternoon, guys. We started out with Mary Sampe talking about City Mission Livingstone. Talked about the Fayette Fury Little League baseball team that got kicked out of a tournament in Monroeville for being too good. And then we touched on some greed issues and then Purple Hearts in the last segment with James.
Yeah. Well, let's go back to the greed thing, though, with football players or whatever. I mean, you're familiar with the iron law of wages?
Why don't you enlighten us?
The iron law of wages says that employers will pay the bare minimum that they have to keep an employee. And there's truth to that, right?
Yeah.
You know, people will pay the minimum they have to. Nobody's going to come along and say, you know what, I can get you for $50,000, but I want to give you $100,000. It doesn't work that way.
I think to some degree, though, when you see employees that are doing a good job, you try to reward them with bonuses because the fact that if you keep everybody happy, you want to be able to. One, you have production and you're able to keep your company going, and you want to keep them on board. Too.
And that's the thing, though. That's the thing, though.
How much do we need you, Kendall?
You're gonna.
Well, I'd say that's
that's
what
it
comes down to.
You're going to try to get as much as you can, and you're going to say, as a manager of the station, yes, I'm going to give you a bonus because I want to keep you. If I was a bad employee, Brian's not going to give me a bonus because he doesn't care if I leave or not. He can replace me pretty easily, correct?
Correct.
Okay. So with football, what happens, I think, is that the NFL gets the salary cap. It goes up, and the agents get involved and say, we can get you more money. You should do this. And let's tear the old contract up and throw it away. And I think that they're just trying to get as much money as they can from the equation because they know their playing time is limited.
And a lot of it's on the agents, as you said, as well, because they also know, too, that if there's a new contract, they're going to get paid more, so they're going to push the issue
And they're going to push the issue to get as much money as you can, and this is why teams have to make tough decisions. Yeah. They have to say, well, we're going to give this player, I mean, it goes back and forth with T.J. Watt. Should you've given him that kind of a contract, $40 million or whatever, right?
Yeah.
If he gets hurt, and you're paying that money out and you can't replace him.
It's all guaranteed.
It's all guaranteed. You're going to be jammed up with the salary cap, right?
Is the NIL kind of turning college football into the NFL?
I think to some degree you're going to end up having maybe 20 to 30 elite NCAA programs, and I think the mid-majors and the programs that don't have that cash are going to be the ones that really get hurt. I don't think it's going to be a full-scale pro league, but I think you might end up having some college players that make more than some NFL players.
Sure.
The best idea I ever heard about this was in the 80s. I was at the Herald Standard. One of the sports writers, a friend of mine, we were talking about paying college athletes back then. And he said this, and it makes perfect sense to me. Why don't the NFL and Major League Baseball, why don't the NFL and the NBA have a minor league system like Major League Baseball does? And you can develop your own players there, and you don't rely on the colleges to do it for you for free.
Yeah.
So that if a player wants to come to Illinois to play football, he's coming for the education and the scholarship. But if you're looking to have a football factory, go to have a single A football team, a double A football team, triple A, just like baseball does, and invest in a farm system to do it for you. And the player then has the option. I can go start there in their system and they'll develop me, or I can go to Alabama and get an education and they'll develop me.
And like, it seems like in my mind, maybe this isn't, but the players, I don't know. I think it takes away from this, and the college wants to make money. They want to have winning teams because they want to keep making the money for the program or for the university in itself. But if you're jumping teams, like, do you have to excuse me? Do you have to sign like if I'm a freshman? Do you sign for like the 4 years, or can you say I'm going to be a one? Can you go to a different college as a freshman, sophomore, junior, and senior?
Yes. They used to be bound by that, and they had to be released.
And you also had to sit out a year as well.
Or you had to sit out a year if you transferred. But now they go every year. There's been players that this is my third program in 3 years.
And are they graduating?
What do you think?
Yeah.
Most of the time.
Most of the time,
no.
Not for the top level players.
They're not graduating?
No.
What do you mean?
A lot of times they can only have to stay 3
you
years.
should look up the graduation rates for college programs and see how, like.
So what do they do when they graduate?
They go and play in the NFL. They then the kids the kids that aren't going to the NFL, those would be your kids that graduate.
A lot of them leave when they're sophomores. Used to be juniors.
Oh, to go play the NFL.
Yeah, but you only have to stay 3 years for the NFL. If you're a college basketball player, you only have to stay 1 year now.
On a team.
On a team, and you can go to the NBA after 1 year.
Do you think that's good?
No, because I think if you try to follow college basketball, you have a brand new roster every single year.
And is it good for the human? Is it good for the person?
No, because you just have certain players now that just take advantage of the situation. They go to school for 1 year.
But they're being taken advantage of too by allowing them to do that, because you figure you're not going to be in the NBA forever.
Correct.
And so what are you going to do after? You might have a lot of money, but I don't know. You
might end up getting 3 more prime years of playing where you're going to get paid a high level of money versus being in college. Now, again, things have changed a little bit with the NIL, but by the same token, you're going to make more probably in the NBA than you would playing college basketball.
Do you think that some NBA teams are... This is a very interesting show to me, but I'm sure we're boring the heck out of people because most people know the answers to these things. But do you think some NBA teams are working with a college because they know that they want this kid?
Well, you have to go to the draft, though.
Yeah, there's no guarantee you get that kid.
Oh.
Because there ends up being a draft every year.
And other people. I know.
So basically whoever has the worst record would get the best opportunity to have the first pick, but they actually have a draft lottery now because teams are just tanking it at the end of the year. They knew there was like a real good player. They would try to lose games on purpose. Now, whoever doesn't make the playoffs, they put all the names into a hat.
It's a weighted lottery.
It's a weighted lottery. So let's say you're the worst team, you might get 16 coins in the basket. The second worst team, you get 15, and then vice versa. If you barely miss the playoffs, you get 1 coin in it. So
but you still hypothetically could win.
Yeah, hypothetically, you could still win the number 1 pick.
Right.
So that's the way.
But I think that you kill the goose, the golden goose, whatever it would be, whatever that analogy is, right? When you got college coaches making $7 million a year, right? And it's easier for those courts to say, you know what, the players, if you're making that kind of money, they should get money too.
Yeah.
Then once you do that, it's harder to be a coach. I think this is why Nick Saban left Alabama, right? The football coach. Because how do you have any discipline on the team?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, you're not bound to me now.
Right.
For 3 years.
You
can leave. So I try to tell you, no, we need you to like throw to Brian.
Yeah. Just no.
And you just don't do it. Because I'll go to Tennessee and play next year. See ya.
It has to be tough to coach on the college level these days
Right.
because of those kind of things. And even to a certain degree, I think in the pro level too, because you have guys that you know are talented. I think some of the issues Tomlin has had because he's not a disciplinarian with some of the players, and he's let some of those receivers. You look at Antonio Brown, stuff Pickens did recently, and those guys kind of know they can walk over him a little bit. And you kind of see the way the program's been the last.
We see that in elementary school.
Well, it's a.
Do you know what I mean?
It's an institutional problem. It's an institutional problem where the kids learn it young that they can get away with it, and you've seen some of the things that have happened on the high school level too. And we brought this up. Look at the Uniontown game at the end of last year. What happened in that situation? Obviously, there's a lot of different factors. We saw it the year before their game with South Allegheny too. We had a whole blow up. Why aren't these kids being disciplined? Not one Uniontown kid got suspended after that South Allegheny game 2 years ago. If there would have been discipline there and those kids would have been suspended, maybe you wouldn't have had the blow up that happened last year up in Meadville.
Which is best for the kid.
I agree.
Because they are still kids, right? And
best
it's about.
for the kid. And here's what was funny about that whole situation.
And wait, I want to know. It's not that a bunch of adults here at WMBS want to see these kids get in trouble.
No, it's the fact that you have to have discipline for the kids. And it was funny. And I'll share this story on the air, and I don't think I've shared it on the air yet. But Dr. Macheski, who was the superintendent for Uniontown, came over to our booth a week or so after the South Allegheny game, and he goes, "Did you insinuate that any of our kids were involved in that incident?" I said, "I didn't have to insinuate anything. The video spoke for itself." So why, in those type of situations at high school level, I'm not trying to single out Uniontown by any means because it's happening everywhere.
But you were recording that.
We were recording and you saw what happened. But why are these kids not being held responsible for their actions in these type of situations? Like, those things should not be happening in high school basketball games. And it's just not locally. It's happening everywhere.
Yeah.
But the same message seems to be allowing kids to kind of do whatever they want to do on that level.
Well, look on the level of the Fury, the baseball team.
It's the same thing.
They're walking off because they're losing?
They're losing, so it's and the coach encourages them. The coach told those kids for that Central Valley team to walk off the field, and that was okay.
So Brian, you were exposed to an incident of kill the messenger, right?
Yeah.
I mean, why are you really?
Yeah.
That's what happens at the newspaper all the time. Why did you do that story? Why are you giving this guy this platform or this woman this platform when they come to the meeting? Who are they?
Yeah.
You're like, well, they came to the meeting and they had a legitimate point, or I'm not here to play favorites or be on your team.
Honestly, it makes it beneficial to your sports department when the local teams do good. It's beneficial to us when the local teams do good. Right. We want to see them all win.
And the advertisers want their names to be on the screen.
Correct, and everything. Yeah. So we want all the kids to do good. But, I think everybody's kind of more being exposed now. You get more games on video. Everybody's filming it. You look at all those, not just us, but you look, everybody has a smartphone with a camera on it. So anytime one of those incidents ends up happening, everybody's recording it. So everybody's under a microscope.
Yeah, I commend you again for doing that because they brought that TV to the Herald Standard in my later years there, the HSTV thing, right?
Yeah.
And you start filming the commissioner meetings, and people really got to see what happens.
Yeah.
And it was a great backup because then when you write the story about what happened,
yeah.
right? People can go
say, "Hey, take a look at it for yourself."
They can say, "Oh, no, Paul got that wrong. That's not really what happened." And then you can play the video, and there it was, and they're like, "You know what? That guy got it right."
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
It was a great backup, right?
Yeah, and it's nice having those, and even just going back. I mean, we've been doing the city council meetings, I think, going back to 2020, so over 5 years of video there. Just kind of go back, and from a historical perspective, you start to build up on. I think you guys even have the old HSTV archives are still active somewhere on YouTube. I found. I was laughing when I saw Phil on it as a councilman on one of the city council meetings. I had never seen Phil in that capacity.
No, the downside of that was that these meetings, and this is true, I was there, 4.5-hour commissioner meetings, because now it was new. So during public comment, everybody comes. And they want to have their own 15 minutes or half hour of fame.
Because they're going to be on TV.
Or they want to, I'm going to run for something. Now I'm going to pull a Sean Kavanaugh because Sean was the first one to really get that type of TV at the housing authorities and stuff. So I'm going to be like that too. And then you had the ringers that come in. Now I'm here to be the antidote to the person that criticizes Brian Morozic. I'm going to get up and criticize the person that criticizes.
I think it's one of the reasons they have a 3-minute public comment, which is fantastic because before there was no boundaries, so somebody can just go on and on and on and on. They try to cut them off. You're violating my free speech.
And there is a level of entertainment value to those meetings, right? But it does help the people who are working until 5 o'clock who can't get to the meetings to be able to go back and watch them later.
Yeah, I agree. Sure, I agree. But I think you're right, though, too, to some perspective, that it does create that whole drama around it as well.
Oh, my gosh.
People
Tune in.
I mean, we had people coming from Philadelphia a couple years ago for the Uniontown City Council.
What was her name? Carmina Taylor?
Yeah.
Oh, gosh.
They weren't even, involved, and you wonder why.
Defending of Antoinette, who has now been
in jail
convicted.
Yeah. And we haven't seen her since, so I'd like to see Carmina call. Let's take a quick phone call before
Maybe
our
it's
next break.
Carmina.
Maybe it's Carmina. Hi, you're on What's on Your Mind. How can we help you?
Good afternoon, gentlemen. Good afternoon, Kendall. How you doing today?
Hey
This is
there, Bill from the Mon Valley. We have to take. We're coming up on a break.
He's all right. He is the whole time.
Okay.
Go ahead, Bill.
Okay. I just want a quick comment. You guys talk about college football and all and everything. My thing on college football, these players are getting paid to play football. To me, that is totally wrong. That is just not. That's logically a logical
Schools are
thing to
making
do.
money, though, off of their names. I mean, the schools are making money off the players.
Well, okay, but are the players making money?
Well, now they are.
Okay, there you go.
They kind of were before,
the
too, if they're getting a free education. That's a lot of money.
Yeah, and the reason I'm saying that is because, okay, say I'm a mediocre football player. I'm not the best in the world, whatever, but I go on a team and I play just as much as a player who is a little bit better than me, and he's getting paid for it.
But who's
now,
better?
I'm gonna get paid. Huh?
Who's better?
The guy getting paid. If he's getting paid because he's a better player.
Okay.
And he's getting paid because he's a better player. I'm not getting paid. I have to pay my tuition and everything else and bust my butt to get good grades and everything else.
Yeah.
And this kid's getting paid.
Well, he's better, but he's better than you. He's better than you.
That's not the point. The
It
point
is.
I'm trying to make is
I know the point you're trying to make is actually go ahead and make your point.
the point is he's playing the same game I am. It's like high school football.
Just talked
Nobody
about this.
should be paid in high school. Nobody should be
We
paid.
just talked about this.
Okay, here's the deal. Okay, if you're the starting quarterback and you're John Elway or you're Joe Montana or you're Ben Roethlisberger, you're more valuable to the team and you're going to get paid more money than the third string tight end. You're both Pittsburgh Steelers, but guess what? I can find a third string tight end off the scrap heap tomorrow.
Yep.
That's just the way it goes.
It's just the way it is.
I understand that, but I'm just saying my opinion is they shouldn't be paid. That's all.
But you mean, and Bill from the Mon Valley, you're specifically talking about college. You don't feel that way in moving up into the professional leagues.
No, just college. No, pros are pros. I mean, if you're that great, like Joe Montana from down the road from here, obviously he deserved what he got. Ben Roethlisberger, same thing, on down the road. But I'm saying just college itself. I don't think anybody should get paid because as far as I'm concerned, they're all the same. And
But they're not all the same, or there wouldn't be a winning team. They're not all the same. You can't be all the same on a team. Someone is going to be better than the other person.
But they're playing for the same thing, and that's the
But
win.
they're not all.
Like,
But they're not the same.
Well,
Why do they give grades in school? Because not everyone's getting the same grade getting the same answers right on the test. They give grades in school.
Well, why don't you give them all the same grade? And that's the same thing. It is, because you're on the same level. Hey, I took that test too. Why didn't I get a C? You got to
Because you didn't study. Maybe because you didn't study hard enough, or maybe it's because you.
Of course, there you go.
Okay.
That's what I'm saying. Maybe I'm not good enough to be that good player, but
Then you don't get to
paid.
Then you don't get to be one. Hey, Bill, you have a good weekend though.
Okay, you too.
You
Thank
could be
very
on
much.
our
Have a-
team any day.
Awesome. I appreciate that.
See you later.
guys take care. Have a great weekend. Bye now.
We'll be back with one final break and then wrap up the show here on WMBS.
Are you looking to list or sell your house? Now is the time to let the professionals at Caldwell Banker Laurel Ridge Realty help you with all of your real estate needs. Caldwell Banker Laurel Ridge Realty has two convenient locations to better serve you. In Uniontown area, 724-437-7100, or in Connellsville area, 724-628-7200, and speak with one of our real estate professionals. Visit our website, caldwellbanker.com. We have been proudly serving Western Pennsylvania area for over 30 years and look forward to helping you with all of your real estate needs. Broker Paul Borge Jr.
If you've driven by Tireman's Auto Garage, you've probably seen all the 2-, 4-, and 6-seater golf carts. Well, they're available for sale and financing is available. Interested in running a golf cart? See Joe and Kim at Tireman's Auto Garage about daily, weekly, or monthly rentals. Tireman's Auto Garage, voted best in Fayette for tires and the best prices in town for tires with CIMA and Snap Leasing available. Mill Street, phone 724-425-9606 for Tireman's Auto Garage on Mill Street in Uniontown.
Your mental health is your most valuable asset. With 55 years of experience serving Western Pennsylvania, Chestnut Ridge Counseling Services is ready and able to assist you with all of your mental health needs. Offering over 20 specialized treatments, open access, and just-in-time scheduling means that you receive the treatment you need in a time-conscious fashion. Chestnut Ridge Counseling now offers telehealth, mental health urgent care with immediate access to a mental health professional with no appointment necessary. Call 724-437-0729. That's 724-437-0729 for mental health urgent care at Chestnut Ridge Counseling. Outpatient care options include individual, group, and family therapies, mental health and psychiatric evaluations, and medication services. Outpatient care and services are also available for patients under the age of 18, geared towards youth-centric problems and concerns. Take control of your mental health care with Chestnut Ridge Counseling Services. Call 724-437-0729 to set up an appointment or speak immediately with a mental health professional.
Wrapping up hot topics on what's on your mind on a Friday. Brian with Kendall and Paul, about 2.5 minutes left. And we were been talking, guys, during the break about NIL and paying players and all that good stuff. And I think you're learning a lot today, Kendall.
Listen, I could totally be in this. I could do 2 more hours of this because it's new to me.
I got you.
You know, and it's interesting.
Yeah, it is. It is. Then we're trying to squeeze in one more call here before the show ends as well. Again, 724-438-4593, 724-438-4593. Hi, you're on Hot Topics.
Hi.
Hey, this is Mark from Connellsville. Mark, we're about to be wrapping up the show, so you want to share something with us?
Yeah, I'm sitting here with my feet in the water down here at the York Park fishing. And, you realize, when you get out of the house and you look around what God gave us, I can see white ducks to my left, other ducks, and so far I didn't catch anything, but what a beautiful, and God gave us animals. I can't wait to go out. Today's National Cat Day. And then
Cat Day.
Today's Cat Day.
I said earlier I'm more of a dog guy.
Yeah, I'm a dog guy too. And my dog, you can come home 365 days a year, and the dog will treat you just like it was the first time you ever seen you.
Oh, yes.
They come and
I'm
jump
wondering, why do
around.
we call men dogs? Because dogs are so much better than men.
My wife uses that term.
Hey,
She calls
Mark,
like-
we gotta
Mark, we
go.
gotta
but
go.
you have a great weekend.
Okay,
No
you
offense.
too, everybody.
Thanks. I almost feel like down the golf course how Mark feels fishing. You know what I mean? Like, you get out there in nature, like, get all relaxed and,
Yeah.
you don't have a care in the world.
Even if it's Cat Day.
Even if it's Cat Day.
Brian, it was a great show.
I enjoyed it, guys. I enjoyed it. Hope we get a chance to do this again sometime.
Mhm.
Always have fun when I get time to hop in here. High school football starts in 2 weeks. I can't believe it. I know. It's too soon.
They
should have at least waited another week, I thought.
Yeah.
It's like
How many
August-
years you've been doing that?
01-02 was my first season, the 01-02 school year.
Okay.
So
it's a long
probably
time.
looking like 24 years, 25 years. So, all right, 20 seconds left. Anything else, guys?
No, don't forget the Italian Festival
Yes.
is this weekend, you guys. Everybody be safe. And the Steam
Horse and Gas Show. Correct as well.
All right.
So again, guys, enjoyed it. Coming up on 3 o'clock, WMBS Uniontown CBS News on the way. Next Democratic Radio Hour in the 3 o'clock hour. He'll be in the 4 o'clock hour. Stay tuned for CBS News on the way now.
This is CBS News on the Hour, sponsored by